This is the FG085 function generator that was reviewed in Electronics Trivia, I think episode 16. This thing just begs to be put into a case. But I can't find a case that will accept this front panel. You can see that the end of this, I don't know if you can see it or not, is slightly at an angle with the high point right here. It seems to match this case, which has a high point or a wide spot right here. But it's too wide to fit in the case. The front panel for this particular case, and I'll link or perhaps mention later on what the name of it is. The front panel that is supplied with the case is 2.30 inches wide. The front panel of the digital generator is 2.435 wide. It tells me that if I take off 67 thousandths of an inch from the top and bottom, that the mini DDS will fit. I've removed the rear plate from the mini signal generator, and I notice it appears to be identical to the front plate, less all the holes, with one random hole drilled here. You can see the paper. I have no idea what the function of that hole is. There's nothing really lined up with it. Now to remove the front cover, I'm going to have to pop off this knob cover, and I'm going to have to desolder the BNC connector. So I managed to take all of the pieces loose, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but I did scratch the front of the case when I took the BNC connector out. So my intention now is to remove 67 thousandths from the top and the bottom of this case. So here's the mini function generator with about a 1/16 of an inch, or a little more than a 1/16 of an inch. Actually, I think I tried to remove 67 thousandths of an inch in the case. Now it does fit snug. I have a little space here. I'll talk about that in a minute. I've removed the back panel, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but the front panel fits in a groove, and actually the actual circuit board fits in a little groove. So that's fine. I could put a rear panel in here and put a 12-volt wall wart jack and run the wires up to replace this jack. But that leaves an awful lot of space vacant inside this case. And I hate to leave vacant space in a case like this and put it on my shelf or my bench, because all of this is wasted. I think what I'm going to do, depending on how much space is available here, is I'm going to mount one or two of these 12-volt 2-amp DC power supplies. I can't quite fit 3. Now if I use one to power this mini DDS, that'll sort of be a waste, but I have 10 of these. I may actually, if I can lay the jacks out correctly, put 2 of these in, use one to power the signal generator, and a pair of front jacks, and use the other one to supply a pair of front jacks. And then I'll be able to have a plus or minus 12 volt power supply. And the only disadvantage is that the neutral, or the common connection between the plus and minus supplies, will be common to this output. So I can't get by with a floating common point, but I could have a plus or minus 12 volt pretty easily, because I can certainly fit 2 of these in. But if I do that, I'll need to put a front switch on here on/off. As far as reducing the height or the overall width of this, I tried files. They worked fine. I tried a 6-inch disc grinder. It worked fine. I tried a milling machine, which most of you don't have, I think. It worked fine. When I used a file, I put a piece of masking tape across here and set it down 1/16 of an inch. Then with I think like a hand towel, I just wrapped it around it and put it in a vise. Then I began working it down till I reached the masking tape. I was carefully checking across the width, and when I took too much off here, I worked back here. And I also cut this end perfectly square. This end still has a peak on it, which disappears in the case. The case also seems to have a wide spot. Barring the fact that you may have a milling machine, the best success I had was a 6-inch disc grinder that you would use in a wood shop environment. I don't really know what I took off this end. I just took enough off that it was square. I'm working my way towards the lettering, which I did not want to encroach upon. So this is panelizing, or enclosing. I guess they sell this as panelized. The mini function generator. Earlier I mentioned that when I took this BNC connector off, scratches appeared on the front panel, which made no sense. Those scratches are gone now because I took a magic marker to the back of the panel where I actually had scratched it and put magic marker on, and so the scratches disappear from the front panel. I think this is a clear piece of plastic. The label's silk screened on the back, and then the whole thing painted black. So it's not the front you have to worry about. It's actually the back. Just wanted to put the thing in an enclosure. This does it. All you have to do is fill up this piece. But when you buy the enclosure, it'll come with a front and back panel. So you can just cut off a piece and sort of fill it in here. But I think I'll use the area and the volume for something else. So if you've enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe or make a suggestion. Thank you for watching.